Welcome back to More Sip2Tally, and on today's episode of the More Sip2Tally Power Rankings, we're going to tackle our number 22nd team. But before we do that, let's recap the countdown so far. At number 32, we have the LA Rams. Number 31, we have the Detroit Lions. Number 30, we have the Arizona Cardinals. 29, Washington Commanders. 28, Carolina Panthers. 27, Indianapolis Colts. 26, New England Patriots. 25, Las Vegas Raiders. 24, the New York Football Giants. And 23, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And for today's team, the 22nd team on our list, we have the Houston Texans. New coach, a lot of new pieces on the team. And as I'm doing this series, I see some of the teams that have been contenders over the past 5+ years, they're starting to go down. And I'm starting to see some teams that were in the bottom realm of the NFL starting to go up. And the Houston Texans are one of those teams that have been like the low-level teams for a long time. But with, them being not good for so while, they got so many first-round picks, and now they got a new coach. So you're starting to see them ascend. And this year they happened to get a quarterback out of, what they did. And what they did the draft day was absolutely nuts. They ended up getting, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the second and the third pick this year. They picked the quarterback, then they turned right around and picked, I think, Will Anderson. But, we'll get into that in a second. Let's start with their QB room. In their QB room, they have C.J. Stroud, Davis Mills, and Case Keenum. Last year, Davis Mills was a starter, threw for just over 3,000 yards. I don't see him being the starter this year. They might start off with Davis Mills, but I just don't see him being the starter. But I think C.J. Stroud going to be the starter. And, again, I've talked about rookie QBs being starters. I can't put a lot of stock in them. So, with that stock, I keep saying stock. I don't know why I keep doing that. A lot of stock in them. But with that being said, the QB room for the Houston Texans, I have ranked 26. Because I think C.J. Stroud's going to be the starter. I think he's going to beat out Davis Mills. I think he was better than Davis Mills last year. So, 26 ranked QB room for the Houston Texans. Sliding on over to their running back room. They had Dameon Pierce, who I really like. They added Devin Singletary from the Bills. They have Mike Boone and Dave O. I can't pronounce that last name, so I'm not going to try. Put them with the 18th ranked running back room. I really like Dameon Pierce. IRL story about Dameon Pierce. I've said it a bunch of times on the regular channel on Sip2Tally, but basically I'm going to make it real short. I coached against him in high school, and I saw him dribble a kid's head off the ground twice. If you want the full story, hit me on another platform or go find one of them old videos on Sip2Tally. But basically, he dribbled a kid's head off the ground against us, and it wasn't pretty. We lost. But I have their running back room as 18th in the NFL. Slide on over to their wide receiver room. They have Robert Woods, Nico Collins, John Mechie, Noah Brown. They got Tank Dell, Xavier Hutchinson, 2 rookies. But really, I got their their wide receiver room as ranked last in NFL. I have them ranked as the 32nd or the worst wide receiver room in the NFL. But there's potential there. There's potential there with John Mechie going into his second season. Tank Dell, who's a rookie. Xavier Hutchinson, who's a rookie out of Iowa State. I like both of those guys. So they have potential to all grow with C.J. Stroud and to build on something there. But as far as right now, again, we ain't putting any stock in the rookies right now until they do something on the grass. But for now, the wide receiver room is ranked last. 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 All right, slide to their tight end room. Tight end room, they have Dalton Schultz. I think that's the guy they got from the Cowboys. They have Tegan Quantarano. I think that's how you say it. They also have my personal favorite Texan, Brevin Jordan. And they have Mason Schreck. I really like their tight end room. And again, when you have a young quarterback, having a bunch of tight ends that are versatile, should be able to help them out. You can do a bunch of different things, especially handing the ball off to the running back and then doing some play action stuff where you can hit tight ends in the flats or tight ends over the middle or tight ends in some kind of stationary routes where they're not moving. So I really like their tight end room. And for that matter, I have their tight end room ranked number 11. 11. And even though Dalton Schultz did what he did with the Cowboys, and they have Tegan Quintanaro ranked as a second string Q tight end, I'm still a huge fan of Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan is an athletic freak at the position, can be the H-back and do a bunch of different things. So I think their OC came from the 49ers. So this is my look at me OC from I forget his name, Bobby Slowick, I think that's his name. Use Brevin Jordan like you use Kyle Juszczyk. You won't be disappointed. I'm telling you. Look at me in the face. Use Brevin Jordan like you use Kyle Juszczyk. You won't be disappointed. Got it? Good. Let's move on. All right, the O-line room. The O-line room has Lermy Tunsil, who I know he reset the market as the highest paid O-lineman. I don't know if he still is the highest paid O-lineman at the moment, but I have them ranked 19th. They have Titus Howard from Alabama State. They got Shaq Mason, who used to play with New England, if I'm not mistaken. So they've upgraded their O-line to try to help their young quarterback out. And again, they got a good running back. They got good tight ends. So they're headed in the right direction. And they have a pretty good OC, especially if he's going to try to implement some of the stuff that they did in San Francisco. I have their O-line ranked as number 19. Let's slide to the defensive side of the ball. They have a defensive coach now. Their coach played for the Texans, played linebacker. What's the coach name? I forgot. It's not on here. Let me see if it's up here. Give me 1 second. That Lovie Smith was last year. I can't think of the kid name. I say kid, but I know he's younger than me. But anyway, he was a DC at San Francisco last year, and he's a defensive guy. Again, they picked CJ Stroud CJ Stroud at 2. They turned around and picked Will Anderson at 3 because from what I heard, I don't know how true it is. Certain people wanted the quarterback. Certain people wanted Will Anderson. So they made it happen for both. They made it happen. So they got Will Anderson on that front line, Malik Collins, who I like. I really like the addition of Sheldon Rankins. And they got Jerry Hughes as their front four. They're going to be a 4-3 team. So we're talking about their front four. I really like the addition of Sheldon Rankins from the Jets. That's going to pay dividends. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to pay dividends in a second. But as far as their D-line, I have their D-line ranked 13th. Malik Collins I like. Sheldon Rankins I really like. As far as being able to stop the run up the middle. Will Anderson's a rookie, so I ain't putting a lot of stock in Will Anderson. They got Jerry Hughes as the other end. But behind Will Anderson, they have Jonathan Greenard, who I really like. So if Will don't do much, I can kind of see Greenard doing that job. And he may even start over Will Anderson, honestly. And even though I know Will was the number 3 pick, that's why I kind of got him up there, because I'm seeing Greenard starting and playing just as much, if not more, than Will Anderson. So that's why I have them ranked as high as I do, because I really like their D tackles. And Hughes is okay, but the combination of Will Anderson and Greenard, I kind of give them a little push on that end. But their D-line group 13. Linebacker room, young, extremely young. Christian Harris, I really like, from Alabama. There wasn't a lot of hype on Christian Harris. I really like him. He can run. Christian Kirksey. What I want to say about Christian Kirksey? Solid. There's a Perriman, another linebacker from the U who I am familiar with, who's been in the league for a while. Is a big pickup to help out Christian Harris. So what San Francisco did with their linebackers, and then taking that coach and dumping him in Houston and giving him Christian Harris, and then having Denzel Perriman to develop, and having Christian Kirksey, I think they're going to be a lot better than they was last year. I really like those 3 guys together. That linebacker room, I have it ranked 26. I have it ranked 26 because Christian Harris, it's potential. That's why it's so low. It's potential. And I was speaking good like it was going to be a high number, but it's potential. They haven't done anything yet, but I like the potential in the group. I really like the potential in the group. Perriman, I think, is let me see how old is Perriman before I say what I got to say. Let me see that first. Perriman's 30. That's what I thought. Perriman's on the downslope of his career, so he's there more of a mentor. But they do have the linebacker from Alabama. I think you say Tootoo. They got him to kind of add to that group too, so he'll be in the mix with those three guys as far as getting PT. So they got potential. They ain't did nothing yet, but they got potential, and I have them ranked 26. Their cornerback room, they got Derek Stingley, who hasn't been the greatest, but he hadn't sucked either, but he hadn't been the greatest. And now you add Shaquille Griffin over there with him, so now you will be able to see what Stingley's made of, really, because you don't just have a guy. You can't just throw away from him. You can't just say, okay, Stingley's over here, I'm going to throw on this side. Because Griffin is no slouch. You're going to have to go at Stingley, and we're going to see what his oil is like. They're going to test his Earl, as they say in New Orleans now. We're gonna see what he made of. So the cornerback room I have ranked 17. They don't have two guys, because I don't think Stingley's a guy yet, but he could be a guy at the end of this year. Could be. Safety room. I had that safety room ranked 13. They have Jalen Petrie, who I love. Jimmy Ward's coming over. If I'm not mistaken, Jimmy Ward's coming from the 49ers. Let me check. Yep, Jimmy Ward's coming from the 49ers. So he's bringing experience. He's bringing knowledge of the playbook. I'm sure they're using pretty much the similar playbook. So that safety room is going to be pretty good. I have that safety room ranked 13. So I already like Jalen Petrie. Already. So those two guys could make this, like this time next year, that group could be a top 10 safety group. Could be. They're right on the verge of it now at number 13. So with all those rankings put together, it came out to be a 19.4444, which puts them 24th on my power rankings. And again, let me go through the numbers again. That way you can kind of, while I'm going through it, you can see or put in the chat box whether you agree or disagree with some of the numbers that I have so far. The QB room ranked 26. Running back room ranked 18th. Wide receiver room ranked the last, 32nd. Tight end room ranked 11th. O-line room ranked 19th. Flip over to the defensive side. Their D-line edge group, 13th. Linebacker group, 26th. Cornerback group, 17th. Safety room, 13th, which puts them at a total score of 19.44444, like Moses Malone, which puts them at 24 on the list. And up-and-coming team, man. Up-and-coming team with a chance to be decent, depending on what kind of play they get out of their quarterback. I think defense, they're going to be solid. They got a good coordinator, I think. Got a good running game. Got a decent O-line. Got some good tight ends. They got, the receivers young. The quarterback's young. Those are the points they got to work on. So, as you can see, somebody's at the door, and I'm going to end this right here. Peace.